But we're live. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Let me get the screen up and running, guys. Give me a second. B2D 3. Oh no, I was writing it in Arabic.
You know what I did yesterday? I changed my Siri from English to Arabic. And then I just got annoying because I can speak.
No, you can't speak Arabic yet.
Yeah.
By the way, this is Ahmed's hat, but I'm borrowing it for the day because it looks Islamic.
Yeah, it looks holy on him.
And I'm just getting sort of religious. It's Friday, it's a thing.
It's Jummah.
Yeah, you have to be more religious.
You have to be holy.
Holy. I was also we're in a holy room with the books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the holy part of Bayyinah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The most holiest, honestly.
Most holiest.
Yes.
Actually, that would be the masjid, but okay.
Well, second holiest.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hope everybody's doing good. I am going to start today, inshallah, with a review of the quiz yesterday. But before I do that, I want to just review the concept so that, you don't just feel bad about getting an answer wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The whole point of quizzes is not to embarrass you. I mean, that's definitely one of the reasons because I really enjoy that. But also, the reason for these quizzes is to remind you of the things we've covered. Some of those things get rusty, and then you have we did that, and that's okay. That's kind of the idea until that becomes it's something that never leaves you. For now, you can start forgetting some things, and my job is to remind you again and again, and that's okay. By the way, just so you guys know, Sarf is going to last us this intensive, which is another couple of days. This intensive, because we took a couple of days out to review the exam. So this intensive is going to go until day 8. Then we're going to have our 4 days off. Then we'll have 10 straight days of Sarf again. And then when we're done with that, then we're actually going to start studying Arabic. This was all preparing you to study Arabic with me formally, which is the textbook. There's an actual textbook that we're going to go through. We're not touching the textbook yet. We're actually doing these intensives so that we can get to the textbook. Then when we get to the textbook, we're going to start over again. Properties of the ism, fragments, invisible is, past tense, present tense, sarf. We're going to start going through all of that again. But we're going to go through it as if we are college students, as opposed to me breaking it down for you like that. It's actually going to be the formal textual study with the exercises. And then we're going to get way more into Quran. So even from the beginning, when we do, actually, it's time now that I should mentally prepare you for what's coming. I'll write that on the screen. Surat Al-Munafiqun. Surah Al-Munafiqun. Okay, that's the surah that I would like all of you to try to memorize. Okay. You have a month to do it, so that's quite a bit of time. No, إذا جاءك المنافقون. Huh? It's about a page.
Okay.
It's a single page.
Okay.
So you guys got about a month, maybe even 6 weeks to do it. But what we're going to do now, when we're done with Sarf and we go back to the textbook, is every day we're going to actually take an ayah of Surah Al-Munafiqun, and everything we learned, we're going to see it in action in this surah. And so by the end, when we're done with this surah, you're going to know the surah by heart. You're going to know all the grammar that you learned with me, not just in theory, but inside of that surah. So what's the point of that? By the end of that, you know one surah, and you know all the Arabic you learned applied on that surah. So one portion of the Quran is actually something you know in terms of the Arabic that you've learned, right? So you're not just, because right now in exercises, there's an example from over here, there's an example from over there, and they're all over, right? But now we got to start building our Quran base, right? And the best way to do that, and that's, some students ask me, how am I going to build vocabulary? This is how. You're going to study the surahs with me. You're going to go through the Arabic of the surahs with me. And one thing I would like, I can't make it mandatory on you to do this. I would like for you to do it. If you love learning with me, and if you want me to think of you as a good person, then you'll do this over the next month on Bayyinah TV. There's a section on deeper look. So in the Quran studies, there's a translation of the Quran, which is brief, and then there's a deeper look study. Okay, and in the deeper look, I've given lecture on Surah Al-Munafiqun, which took me it's a page-long surah, but it took me about 10 hours, I think it was, 10 or 8 hours to teach.
Compared to this course, we've done more than 10 hours.
Right, but I don't want you to take notes on it. I just want you to kind of casually listen to it. So you know what's going. You learn something about the surah. You're memorizing the surah, and you're learning the Arabic of the surah with me, right? So you're hitting it from three ways: memorization, Arabic, and then the tafsir of it,
Yeah.
right? So you've got all three hitting you at the same time. And what that does is you have something tangible. You can say after that, well, you know what? I know one surah pretty well.
Yeah.
I know a decent amount about this one surah, right? And then inshallah, from there, it'll become 2 surahs. And from there, it'll become 3 surahs, etc., etc.
Yeah.
My goal for all of you, ideally, is by the time we're done studying the Arabic, you've memorized with me at least 1 juz or maybe even more. But we'll pick a surah, we'll pick a passage, and we'll do that. So instead of just saying, oh, memorize all of 30th juz or something, and some of you have already done that, and some of you just know the short surahs and things like that. Some short surahs will be there. But I'm going to start giving you passages from different parts of the Quran that I think are really beneficial for your Arabic studies and also for your Quran studies. So let me talk about Quran studies for a moment for both of you so you understand what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I really benefited from with my teacher, Dr. Abdul Sami, was instead of going through the entire Quran, well, I did hear the entire Quran from him, like the explanation of it in brief, but then he kind of made me memorize, I think it was about 25 different places in the Quran, not entire surahs, sometimes entire surahs, sometimes just you can think of it as a passage or a paragraph, right? And it was this curriculum of different pieces of Quran. And what it does is if you think of Quran like a building, then those were kind of like pillars in the building. And the thing that holds the building together is the pillars, right?
Yeah.
So if you understand these few passages, then everything around them starts making sense. You start making sense of the Quran as a book. And then when you study it beginning to end, you have this kind of architecture in your head already of what are the main subjects in the Quran, how are they talked about, and things like that. So similar approach is what I'm going to take with you guys. You're gonna study the Arabic of it. You're going to study the meanings of it. The meanings of it, of course, are in the Bayyinah TV lectures. So I won't take time to do that because I put a lot of work into giving those lectures. And I actually intended to do that for people like yourself, people that are going to study the Arabic with me, people that are going to put in the time and try and memorize it. And now they have a way of contemplating on it more deeply. Eventually, what's going to happen, inshallah, what's my vision for you a year from now? A year from now, we come back to Surah Al-Munafiqun. You've already heard me talk about it. And we're going to open up Ibn Ashur and read Surah Al-Munafiqun from a scholar that wrote about the surah. And you're going to read it and you're going to translate it for me. I'll give you translation assignments. So you'll read the Arabic text of a tafsir, and you're going to tell me what the mufassir is saying, right? And then the goal after that, once you get good enough to read, is then we'll actually start doing discussions. We'll actually, the platform, whether it's social media or it's on Bayyinah TV, the platform is going to start being used for us to say, hey, let's study Quran together. So everybody read your favorite tafsir of this ayah and bring your contemplations, reflections, questions, and let's discuss it together. So that's where we want to get to as a world, because you guys are all over the world, really. We're engaging in worldwide Quran conversation, which is, to me, that's the ultimate dream, actually. That yatadarasunahu bainahum, right? In a real sense, we're contemplating Allah's word with each other. So I'm really, really excited about what's coming ahead of us, because again, this is not an Arabic course. This is us connecting to the Quran in a very meaningful, significant, deep kind of way, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so let's review a little bit of the present tense. So in your original notes, this was on page 39. So I'm going to open. I'm really bad with surahs, unlike Dr. Zakir Naik, who's amazing with numbers. He's like a number machine. He's just like I met him,
Yeah.
And it was pretty intense. It was really intense. It was pretty funny too.
Yeah.
So anyway, surah number 63.
Okay.
My hunch was right. So maybe I'll tell you that story one day when I met Dr. Zakir Naik. He's pretty epic. When we studied the present tense in your notes, in your original notes, the first 2 intensive notes, let me open that up. Let's see. Well, even before then. So the first thing is you guys memorize the present tense, and Maryam has gotten so good at the present tense, she could start a TV show called The Present Tense. Yeah. She's like Queen Mudari'. Mudari' means present tense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we get impressed by Maryam first? Go ahead, Maryam. Bismillah.
Wait, come closer. The world can see you.
Yeah, so let me zoom out a little so you can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, هو ينصر. Move in. Come here. Break furniture. Come on.
هو ينصر هما ينصراني هم ينصرون هي تنصر هما تنصراني هن ينصرن
Allah.
أنت تنصر أنتما تنصراني أنتم تنصرون
Yes.
أنت تنصرين أنتما تنصراني أنتن تنصرن.
Don't help her. Do not help her. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
أنا أنصر نحن ننصر.
Yes. أنا أنصر نحن. Wow, 99.5.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
That's what I could say.
You should watch a recording of yourself saying this from 3 days ago.
Oh yeah. It would be funny.
You should just watch what you were doing and what you're doing now. I am really proud of you. MashaAllah. That's my student right there. See? And some of you sent me your recordings. You were amazing. And some of you sent me your tears. Ustad, I can say it, but not as fast as you. Yeah, because I'm like so much better than you, humbly speaking. But anyway. No, you messed up.
Oh,
you can do it fast, but you better shoot on target. No.
What?
Too fast. You ate up the word yansuruna. You didn't say the na. وينصرهما ينصراني هم ينصرون هي تنصرهما تنصراني هن ينصرن أنت تنصر أنتما تنصراني أنتم تنصرون أنت تنصرين أنتما تنصراني أنتم تنصرون. Right. أنا أنصر نحن ننصر.
هو تنصر ما تنصراني هم تنصرون.
Oh no, there's no us. Don't do it this fast. You can't do it yet. You're not at the Super Saiyan level yet. It's okay. And doing it fast is not the goal. But anyway, so let's come back to the work at hand. So yansuru, and the words that end with u are underneath it. Yansuru, tansuru. Then again, tansuru and ansuru and nansuru, right? Those are the ones that end with u. When you make them light, you make them yansura, tansura, tansura, ansura, and nansura, right? So when you want to make these guys light, you just make them with a fatha. Then if you want to make them lightest, you say yansur, tansur, tansur, ansur, nansur. So the present tense has three weights: normal and light and lightest, right? In the second column, you've got yansurani, tansurani, 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 right? It's a repeat. But how do you make this column light? Well, the light version is just get rid of the noon. Yansura, tansura, tansura, tansura. And the lightest version is the same thing. Yansura, tansura, tansura, tansura. The same thing happens with tansurina over here. The normal version is tansurina, the light version is tansuri, and the lightest version is also tansuri. Then there were these yansuruna, the noon goes away, yansuru, right? But yansurna, the women, they don't have the light and lightest. They stay the same, remember? So yansurna is normal, yansurna is light, and yansurna is also lightest. No change. Tansuruna is normal, the light and lightest version are what? Tansuru. And then tansurna is normal, and the light and lightest versions are still tansurna. No change, right? So that was the normal light and lightest kind of scheme, right? Then we learned about what makes a word light and what are some reasons a word becomes lightest. The basic, there's lots of reasons, but the most basic reasons are the light harf and the lightest harf. So the light harf are an, lan, likay, idhan, hatta. And the lightest harf are in, lam, lamma, wal, falli. Can you pull up the quiz, Jawad?
I sent you the link already in private chat.
Okay.
I can say now.
Okay, so I pulled it. Oh, I pulled it up on the wrong. Okay, let me go over here. I don't know what you're doing, but
now showing.
Don't machine gun.
I was showing my awesome skills.
Okay, don't show them yet.
Okay.
Now, we're looking at line number 1. Okay, read the first one. An yadriba, liya. Then second one, liya kulu. Then lam, lan, in, hatta, wal, in, an, fal. Easy answer. Before you do anything else, is it light or lightest? That's the first thing. If it's an, lan, likay, idhan, and hatta, then it's light.
Light.
Yeah. So number one, light or lightest?
Light.
Light. Number two,
Light.
light. Very good.
Lightest.
Light, and by the way, it could be lightest too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Why? Because in lam, lamma, wal, fal, and
Li.
li. So it could be light or lightest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the right answer for number two is light or lightest. Lam.
Lamb. Lightest.
Good. Lan. Light. In.
Lightest.
Lightest. Hatta.
Light.
Light. Wal.
Lightest.
Lightest. In.
Lightest.
Lightest. An.
Lightest.
No. An. Number
Oh,
nine.
Number 9 is lightest.
Light. Number nine is light.
Oh yeah, number 9. I got that right.
Fal.
Fal is lightest. In lam lama wal falli.
Correct. Did you guys get that? We did it rather quickly because we know the harf by heart.
Yeah.
In, lam, lamma, wal, fal, and li makes it lightest, and an, lan,
Lan,
likay,
likay,
idhan,
idhan,
hatta
hatta
makes it
lightest.
light, right?
Oh, light,
Light. Now, it asks an additional question. What is the original huwa version? Meaning, how do you make it normal again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you make it normal again?
Yeah.
When we make it normal again, we're not going to say the harf with it.
Yeah.
Because if you say the harf with it, it's wrong to say it in the normal version.
Yeah.
So the answer for number one, any guess, Mariam? What would be the normal version?
Yadriba.
No, that's not normal. That's
Oh.
light. What's the normal version? No.
Yadribu.
Yadribu.
Oh, yadribu.
The normal ends with u.
Oh,
The light ends with a. The lightest ends with sukun.
Sukun, yeah.
Right? So if it had an a, the normal version would have been yadribu.
Yadribu.
Everybody got that? The first one would have been yadribu with just a dhamma. Very good.
See.
Amreen, good. Sanya, huwa. Yes, huwa, but what's the original huwa version? Now, we actually, let me answer that too. So let's go to the second one, liya'kulu.
Oh, I know this one.
Wait, before you do this one, let me explain something because everybody needs to hear this. Ya'kuluna was the original.
Mm-hmm.
Ya'kuluna was the original.
Yeah.
Meaning ya beginning, una ending, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the lam, because it's light or lightest, took it away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want ya'kuluna in the question.
Mm.
The government wants huwa.
Hua.
But ya'kuluna is not huwa. It's hum ya'kuluna,
Yeah.
right? So how do you go back to huwa version from ya'kuluna?
What? Hua. Yakulu.
Yes, huwa ya'kulu. Don't make it long. Huwa ya'kulu. Huwa ya'kulu. Huma ya'kulani. Hum kuluna. Hiya Maryam, you
Yeah.
memorized it.
Yeah.
Now it's time to put it to use. Hiya ta'kulu, huma ta'kulani, hunna ya'kulna, anta ta'kulu, antuma ta'kulani, antum ta'kuluna, anti ta'kulina, antuma ta'kulani, antunna ta'kulna. Ana is hard. You can say akulu, but they actually make it easier because it sounds like a hiccup, like kulu.
Mhm.
So they say akulu.
Akulu.
Akulu. Nahnu na'kulu.
Nakulu.
Let's go back to the hiccup. Na'kulu.
Nakulu.
Ahmed, run over and ask Brother Sekou to turn the AC down in here. I'm sweating and I'm gonna die.
Okay.
Okay. Well, everybody dies, but not everyone truly lives. Okay. Anyway, lam taghfir. By the way, somebody's Khadija said this was so confusing. Is it still confusing, Khadija? And if so, tell me what's confusing. Merciful soldier. Really? Where do you come up with these names? Who comes up with this stuff? Number 2 is light or lightest. I missed it. It's light or lightest, in fact. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Imran, so you say for number 3, yaghfiru. Imran says that the normal huwa version of taghfir,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, ta is not the huwa version.
Mm-hmm.
Huwa starts with ya, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to replace the ta with a ya. And the ending is lightest right now.
Mhm.
But to make it normal, you go take it back to the u ending.
Yeah.
So yaghfiru.
Hua yaghfiru. Yeah.
Or yaghfiru would be the right answer for this one. Lan nu'mina. Should we replace the first letter before we make it the huwa version?
Yes.
With what?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what should the ending be?
Hua yu'minu.
Right. Yu'minu. Yu'minu.
Yeah.
Very nice. And number 5, in yadhharu. Yadhharu.
Yadharu.
Well, the oo at the end is the light version of what ending?
Huwa.
Mm-mm.
No.
The oo at the end, the
Oh,
wow at the end. You see that wow?
Yeah,
That's
huma.
no, not homa, no. Huwa yansuru?
Hum, sorry.
Homa?
Yansuru.
Homa yansuru?
No, huwa
Wait,
yansuru.
Huwa?
Huwa yansuru.
You memorize this. You got it right. Don't undo it. Homa?
Huma yansura.
Really? Wait.
Huma. No, it's huwa yansuru.
Okay, let's everybody stop. Deep breath. Now give me the huwa chart again. Yansuru again. See? Now you're saying huma yansurani. You're back to normal again. But for a moment there, you said huma yansuruna. Then you said huma yansurina. Then you said everything else. And I said, what just happened? We made so much progress.
Yeah.
Why are we going backwards? No, not another 4 years. I'm kidding. But I'm saying, so yansurani.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is not yansurani.
Yeah.
This looks like yadharuna, which is hum.
Yeah.
But we got to take it back to the huwa version. How do I take this to the huwa version?
Huwa yadharu.
Yes, that's it. Yadharu.
Mm-hmm.
Huwa yadharu.
I know it, so I'm pretty.
Oh, you know it?
I think so.
Like you're a poet? Okay.
You can
Okay.
show the rhymes, bro.
Okay. You're trying to show it? Okay. حتى يقولا. حتى يقولا. What's the normal version, first of all, of يقولا?
Yaqulu. Yaqul.
You can't change a letter to make it normal. يقولاني.
Oh yeah, yaqulani.
You can't go back and say yaqula. Normally was yaqulu, but when we make it light, we make it yaqula. No, the alif stays. The noon was gone. The noon just bring the noon back. So yaqulani. Simple as that. Now we got to take it to the huwa version. The normal yaqul. Should it end with sukun?
Yaqulu.
That's right. Yaqulu. Huwa yaqulu. Wal yaktub. Maryam, I'll try to have you do this one. I just want the huwa normal version of yaktub. The huwa normal version.
Yaktubu.
That's it. Done. Yaktubu. Great. Great. Nattabi'i. This should be considered nattabi' with a sukoon.
Oh, okay.
It's trying to connect to al-huda, so the sukoon became kasra.
Yeah.
Okay? So we briefly touched on that when we were doing light and lightest, but we'll come back to that anyway. It's okay. So just for now, assume that it's nattabi'.
Nattabi'.
Okay? Now, how do I make this huwa and normal? Huwa, read the word.
Oh, huwa. Oh, take the noon away
Good.
and put a ya.
Right.
So, yattabi'u.
Yattabi'u. Nicely done, guys. In yut'imuni, an yut'imuni. Some students said, Ustad, why is this heavy? It's not heavy. This is not a noon. You didn't learn uni ever.
Yeah.
You learned una, right?
Yeah, una and ina.
Una and ina. This is neither of those.
Mhm.
You know what that is? Let me show you something. If I said yansuru, he helps.
Mm-hmm.
If I said yansuruni, that would be an attached pronoun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ni comes from what?
Ni comes from ana.
Right. So who helps who?
I help.
No.
No.
Whoa. There's
Oh,
no you
wait.
here at
Yeah.
all.
Oh no, he helped.
First of
me.
all, no. Wait. Hold. Breathe. Old lesson. When you have an attached pronoun, you pretend it doesn't exist.
Oh yeah.
Then you look at the beginning and translate that. Are you able to translate huwa yansuru?
Yeah, he helped.
He helped or he helps?
He helps.
He helps. Now don't go back on that.
Mhm.
Don't change it because you got that right.
Yeah.
Once you get something right, it would be a really bad idea to go back and make it wrong again.
Okay.
Right? So he helps. We're
Me.
good. Now, me.
Oh.
Because me comes from
I.
Anna. Now, what was the problem? You guys said I helped.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's past tense.
No. First of all, you should be looking, or even I help. That's still wrong.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, because.
And we didn't ignore that.
That's right. When you don't ignore it, you get the wrong answer.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mhm.
That's really important. Now,
Yeah. Or it could be he helps I.
which is terrible English.
Yeah, but that's
Okay.
like ancient English. Like.
No, it's not
he
ancient
helps
English.
I thee.
It's no, it's
You're
not.
reading Shakespeare, right?
No, it's even they don't do that. No, okay,
Don't do that.
no.
Ah.
Now it was ni, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now something I didn't teach you before. It's kind of cool. Sometimes to say ni, they just say ni,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
which also means me.
Oh, okay.
So ni means me,
Mm-hmm.
and ni also means
Me.
me. Now we have yansuruna.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, yansuruna, and I said ni. If I said that, yansuruna ni. What should I ignore?
The knee.
Right, it's the same as ni.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's left?
Yansuruna.
Right, they help.
Mm-hmm.
Who do they help?
They help me.
They help me. What's the light version of yansuruna?
Yansuru.
Now what do you have left? Yansuru
Ni.
ni. This still means they help.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And this means what?
Me.
No, not we.
Oh, me.
Me. So
We.
the question was yut'imu ni. They feed me.
Oh.
They feed
Feed me.
me. Okay.
And then number 10. I feel like the numbers are placed on the wrong side. Like
Didn't get the fourth one on.
No,
What's the fourth one?
It's on the right side.
yeah, but it's,
Lan nu'mina you didn't get? Nawal, help me with the
yeah.
questions.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's pretty cool though, I guess. Like I put it on the right side.
I put everything on the left side.
I did too.
Why would they do that, Ustad? Why not just say ni? Well, they would do that because they're being cool,
Yeah.
and you will learn the difference between ni and ni later on in sort of other studies in Quran. So
There's
one
a
study at a time. Right now, I'm just trying to get you accustomed to this. The purpose behind everything will come in time, inshallah.
There's like a reason for them being different.
UJ, you tricked us. Gave us a question which we learned. Well, how?
What?
I'm trying to process what that means. I can't wrap my head around that. Can you give us a question which we learned?
They just want to blame you for something.
Okay. I couldn't get it in 1,000 years, Muntasir. How about 70 hours? That's a lot less than 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Have you been with us from the beginning? Do you need the review? I think you do. I don't think it takes 1,000 years. I think maybe it takes 2
2 years?
hours.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's not bad.
have a little more faith than, yeah.
What's the Hua version for Yutaimu?
Yut'imu. Yut'imu. Yep. Simple. That's the Hua version.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was our review.
We didn't do number 10.
Number 10? What was the what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, we just did.
Oh my god, we did number 9. We didn't do number 10. Fal yunfiq. Well, Ahmed, what's the normal version of yunfiq?
ينفق ينفقوا.
That's it. Done. Yunfiqu.
Yeah.
Now, some of you students have a hard time learning something if you don't know its purpose.
Yes.
And I'm teaching you the families, but I haven't taught you their purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And so some students are like, why are we learning this? We don't even know its purpose. And I keep telling you, I'm the purpose right now. I'm telling you it's important, so you're going to learn it.
Mhm.
You're like, but that's not good enough for me. I need some evidence of why, I need dalil for why it's important for my Islam. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a little bit of a taste of why families are important to study.
Mhm.
Okay, and why that's a critical study in Arabic. Okay, so this is again, we're a little bit of linguistics. This is not something that happens in English.
So are
but
we
it
moving on?
happens in Arabic, huh?
Are we moving on? Because there's another question on the exam first.
We were moving on, but if there's a question quickly, we can take it. Yes.
Yeah, on number 2, there's some confusion on how it can be both light and lightest.
It could be either one, because li is part of the lightest harf, right?
Yeah.
And likay, the li, it can be said li or kay, so it could mean either one. The context will decide which one it means. We haven't even gone through the meanings of those huruf yet, but yeah, there's an overlap of lam, right?
That's a
Li
deeper
belongs to the lightest group, and likay, which can be said li or kay or likay, if you remember,
Yeah.
also belongs to the light group. So there's overlap. Where's the confusion? The confusion is, why did that happen? Barbecue.
Barbecue. Just blame it on the barbecue, man.
Yep.
Bar woman. I don't know.
Why didn't they make one Lee different than the other Lee? I don't know. They died already. I can't ask them. They already cast that ballot
Yeah.
before they died. Okay, so anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. We're good to go?
There's a couple of people saying they're having trouble when they're given a word, taking it back to the normal and then back to the hua, if there's any tips on that.
Yeah, actually, that's something that we just started doing in this quiz. and it's something that we're going to actually dedicate hours to. So a session is going to be just on how do you find a word and take it back? How do you find a word and take it back? Because that's a huge part of your learning, and we haven't dedicated time to that skill yet. So that's actually something I plan on doing with you. Your sarf study is made up of certain skills. The first skill is memorizing the families.
Yeah.
Then the second skill is going to be taking it back, taking each word back. And that's a skill we're going to dedicate time to, inshallah. It'll come. So be patient with that, okay? So let me now give you a little bit of a taste of what sarf does.
Yeah.
The Arabic language mostly is made up of words that come from 3 letters.
Yeah.
So these are called root letters. In English, we call them root letters.
Yes.
Some people wrote, Ustad, I don't understand these rot letters. No, they're not rotting letters. They are root letters.
Yeah.
Because the reason they call them root letters is because it's like the roots of a tree.
Yeah.
The roots lead to a bark, then it leads to branches, then it leads to fruits and leaves, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. But all of them are tied to the root, right?
Yeah.
So these 3 letters, Ain, Lam, and Mim, create an entire tree of words, and all of them can be traced back to Ain, Lam, and Mim. Okay, so so most words, not all words in Arabic, are made up of how many root letters? 3. Okay,
Yes.
how many root letters? 3.
3.
Okay, now some are made of 4 and some are made of 5. That happens too.
Yeah.
But that's later. Right now, 99% 3 letters. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, we can call them letter number 1, letter number 2, and letter number 3, but that's lame.
Yeah. That's
So
not
the
fair.
Arabs decided that they're going to call the first letter, they're going to call it the fa letter,
Father.
which is easy to remember because fa for first,
Oh yeah. Father first.
right? So the first letter is called the what letter?
The
The fa letter.
The father.
So when I say the fa letter, I mean the first root letter,
Yeah.
right? And the last letter is called the lam letter,
Mhm.
which is easy to remember, lam for last.
Yeah.
So here, ayn would be the fa letter,
Yeah.
and mim would be the lam letter.
Oh yeah.
And the middle is called the ayn letter.
Ayn. Okay.
Why? Because they wanted to come up with the word fi'l.
Oh, that's
Right?
so cool. Yeah.
So the first letter is called what letter? The
The
fa letter. The second letter is called the ayn letter. And the third letter is called the lam letter. Okay?
Yeah.
The fa letter, the ayn letter, and the lam
Lam
letter.
letter.
Okay? So if I gave you this, what's the fa letter?
Seen.
Sin. What's the ayn letter?
Lam.
And what's the lam letter?
Meme.
Wow, the lam letter's meme?
Oh yeah.
The lam letter's not lam? No, because lam means last,
Last. Yeah.
right? So the Arabic words are made up, most Arabic words are made up of a fa letter, a ayn letter, and a lam letter. So far, so good. What is the fa, ayn, lam letter? First letter, second letter, third letter?
Give me all of
Got it?
Raja.
So
Hamna?
far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay, now let's take ayn, lam, mim. That's my fa, ayn, and lam letter. If I mess with this and do this, it's still the same 3 letters, right?
Yeah.
But now what's my fa letter?
Your fa letter is Ayn.
Your
Lam,
ayn letter is,
or Ayn.
ayn is mim, and lam is
Lam.
lam. Is this the same fa, ayn, lam, or is it a different fa, ayn, lam?
Different.
Right. So you know what's going to happen? This means something totally different from this. If you move them around, then it's a different seed, which is going to give you a different tree.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You know how sometimes when you say a word, I say yadrusu, and you're like yasrudu, you kind of move the letters around. What are you doing? You're putting the fa and the ayn and the lam, and you're taking the lam and putting it in the fa, which makes it a different word altogether.
Yeah.
Now watch this. And we're going to go back to ayn and lam, and so the order matters. Any word you make from this, it could be a big word or a small word in sarf.
Yeah.
But one thing will always be the case. When there's a race between these 3 letters, and the fa letter will always come first,
Yeah.
and the ayn letter will always come second, and the lam letter will always come third.
Third,
They could even have other letters in between, but between these 3, it'll always be fa first, ayn second, lam third.
Okay.
Okay? Now
So
watch
you
this.
could put the meme in the front, and it would like change.
That would change the meaning. That's not the same word anymore. Okay, now watch this.
Yeah, like أفلح يفلح إفلاحا فهو مفلح أفلح يفلح إفلاحا فهو مفلح الأمر منه تفلح والنهي منه لا تفلح والعفو منه مفلح. think I'm getting better at like creating the little thing. عقب يعقب عقابا مؤقبا.
Okay. What were my fa'ain lam letters? Ain, lam, and mim.
Mim, yes.
From it we made ilmun. Let me make another word. Alamun.
Alamun.
Ilmun, alamun. And I'll make alamatun. Say the word. Alamatun. There's a past tense. Alima, a'lama, yu'limu, i'laman, ta'allama, muta'allimun, allamatun, alimun, ma'lumun, ista'lama, ta'limun. All of these words have ain, lam, and mim. But some of these words are not 3 letters. Some of these words are like ain is 1 letter, lam is second, then there's an alif, then there's a mim, and then there's a ta, right? But ain still came first, and lam compared to ain still came second, and mim still came third. The other letters are not part of the race. The alif and the ta are not part of the race. They're actually not part of the root. They are part of the shape. We talked about root and shape. Now you're going to learn something more. Every one of these has the fa, ain, lam letters. Ain, lam, and mim are the fa, ain, lam letters. Those are your root letters. All the other, the harakas you see and the letters that you see, that's all the shape. That is all the shape. Okay? So check this out. Ilmun, I say, if I asked you, what's the shape of ilmun? You would say the shape of ilmun is fi'lun. The shape of ilmun is fi'lun. What's the shape of alamun? You would say fa'alun. You would replace the ain letter with fa, the lam letter with ain, and the mim letter with lam, the lam letter, right? Fa'alun is the name of the shape. Hey, somebody says, what's the shape of alamun? Oh, it's fa'alun. What's the shape of alamatun?
Alamatun.
What are you going to replace ain with? And the lam with? Fa'alatun. So you left the alif alone, you left the ta alone, right? This is fa'alatun. The shape is called fa'alatun. What's the shape of alima?
Fa'ima.
Fa'i. Don't make it. The last letter is not mim.
Oh yeah, fa'ila.
Fa'ila.
Yeah.
The shape of alima is fa'ila. What's the shape of a'lama? You can't replace alif. You can only replace what? 3 letters can be replaced. The ain will be replaced with fa. The lam will be replaced with ain, and the mim will be replaced with lam. Which letter will not be replaced?
The alif hamza.
So in any of these words, so now we're getting into bigger words, right? In any of these words, there's more than 3 letters. But only 3 of them can be replaced. Which 3 will be replaced? The fa letter, the ain letter, and the lam letter. And you're literally going to replace them with fa, ain, and lam. All the other letters and sounds, you will keep them exactly as they are. Now think about it and tell me again. A'lama. What's the shape of a'lama?
Af'ala.
Af'ala. Af'ala. What about yu'limu? The ya doesn't get replaced.
Yuf'imu.
Yuf'ilu.
Yeah.
What about i'laman? If'alan. What about ta'allama? What am I going to replace again? Ain, lam, and mim, right? So what's going to stay?
The ta.
Ta's going to stay, the shadda's going to stay, the harakas are going to stay. Only the letters are being replaced. Okay?
So this one would be tafa'ala.
Tafa'ala. Very good. Okay. Muta'allimun.
So we're only going to change ain, lam, and mim.
Right. So mu will stay, ta will stay, right?
Okay. Mutafa'ali.
Yes.
Mutafa'ilun.
Now say it again.
Mutafa'ilun.
The E is too long. There's no ya there.
Oh,
Mutafa'ilun. Yeah, that's right. Allamatun.
The lam will, the ayn will change. The meme and the ta marbuta.
Ta marbuta won't change.
Oh,
it's
well, oh.
Ayn,
Mo-
Lam, and
Oh,
Mim.
ayn lam.
Only ayn lam and mim change. Mariam's gonna do this one. Allamatun. Yeah.
Fa'matun.
There's no meme in the fa ayn lams.
Fa'latun.
Fa'latun. Let's try. So fa letter,
Yeah.
fa. Ayn letter replaced here.
Yeah.
So the ayn letter should have a shadda and then an alif after it.
No.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the middle letter has a shadda and an alif, right?
Mm-hmm. You don't get
Oh yeah, I should have.
So?
that, yeah.
Fa. Look, I'll show you. Allamatun. What's the ayn replaced with?
Fa-
Okay, what's the lam replaced with?
Ayn.
Isn't that what I should do?
Yeah.
And then the meme should be replaced with,
La.
and then the dash should say
Fa'alatun.
fa'alatun. Got it?
Fa'alatun, yeah.
Mariam, try this one. Alimun. What letter's gonna stay?
Mun.
No, one is not gonna stay. What letter's gonna stay even when I
Oh.
replace everything?
I'm not even.
How many letters are supposed to be replaced?
3.
So which is the fourth letter that's not part of the game? That's gonna just stay anyway. There's 4 letters here, right?
Yeah.
Which one's not part of
Yeah.
Ustad,
Yes.
we're getting a lot of requests to write both words, the ayn lam mim and the fa ayn
Okay.
lam.
Well, first, let's do it orally, then we'll go back and write them all. So it will be reinforcement. So alimun.
Fu'ayman.
Well, okay. So fu'ilun. You want to say fu'ilun is the same as alimun. The first letter.
On the ayn add a alif.
Okay, on the ayn letter add an alif.
Oh wait, no, don't add alif. Get rid of the alif.
Then what?
Add a yeah.
Okay. What about the a'a and the fu? Shouldn't it be a
Fa.
fa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fatha.
Everything should match.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only thing you're doing is replacing ayn with fa, lam with ayn, and then mim with lam, right? Ma'lumun.
Fa.
No, what's the first letter that can be replaced?
Oh, ayn.
Right. So what stays?
Maf. Maf'ulun.
Yes, maf'ulun.
Mm.
Maf'ulun.
Better. Slowly but surely.
Slowly better. Ista'lama. Ista'lama. What do you think? Do you see now why they invented algebra, by the way?
Oh yeah, they did.
There's a value of x, value of y, value of z. Replace the variables. That's all they're doing. Sarf is algebra. Anyway,
So if you get
Is
good
that-
at this, guys, you'll be good at algebra.
that's correct.
Oh, really?
Is stuff.
Is stuff.
Ilan.
E, and then the last letter should have a,
Lun.
because this one had a lun.
Lu. Lin.
Wha-
Lim.
So last letter has,
M.
wait, what's the last letter? Meme.
Yeah, me.
What sound does it have on it?
Mu.
That's a
Wait,
mu?
Would it?
It's a coon.
Oh, it's sukun, so it should go with the ayn, so it should have that too.
So where?
On top of it. Get
On
rid
top of what?
On top of the lam.
Do what? Say
Add
it.
the sukun.
Say it.
An.
Huh? What did you just say? Read the word.
The whole thing
Yes, read the whole word.
is stuff an.
Istaf'il. The meme is gone.
Il. Oh, okay.
The meme is replaced with lam. Is that a okay or is that
No,
okay?
I understand.
Okay,
It's
stop picking
stuff
on me,
an.
okay.
Yeah, I
You get it?
understand, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ta'limun.
Ta'lim. Oh, it's my turn.
Mm.
So the ta stays. The ayn goes.
Mm-hmm.
Taf'ilun.
Taf'ilun. Taf'ilun. Okay.
Yeah.
When you get good at sarf, any word you look at, you fa'ain lam it.
Yeah.
So I'm, other than the words that are not from sarf, like, and I'm reading Fatiha. Alhamdu, hamd is fa'lu.
Fa'alu.
Fa'lu. Hamdu, fa'lu. Lillahi Rabbi, Rabbi is fa'li. The ra, ba, and ba, they're together. Al-alamina is al-fa'alina. So it's fa'al. Ar-Rahman is fa'lan. Rahman, fa'lan. Ar-Rahim, fa'il. Maliki, fa'ili.
Yeah.
Yawmi, fa'li.
Yeah.
Ad-dini, fi'li.
Yeah.
إياك نعبد نفعل
Naf'ulu. Oh.
وإياك نستعين نستفعل, which is a little harder. اهدنا, that's even harder. افعلنا, which you're not ready for. الصراط الفعالة المستقيمة المستفعلة صراط فعالة الذين أنعمت أفعلت عليهم غير فعل المغضوب المفعول عليهم الضالين الفاعلين. Some of them are hard, some of them are easy. But I want to get you to that point. You look at a word, you can fa'ain lam it. Okay? What does that mean you can fa'ain lam it? You can tell me what shape it is.
Yeah.
Because once you know what shape it is, then you can manipulate that shape. Okay? Now go back.
It's like clay.
It is like clay. Now look at all the words that came from Ain, Lam, Mim. Ain, Lam, and Mim. Let me just say the English words. Knowledge,
Knowledge.
a marking, or a flag,
Flag.
a symbol.
Symbol.
He knew, he informed, he informs, information, or to inform. He learned, a learner, a scholar, knowledgeable, known, something known. Seek to inquire, education. All of those words in English have something to do with knowledge.
Yeah.
A flag is a symbol by which people are known, or a marking is by which a road is known, and to know and to inform and to teach and to know or to inquire. All of them have to do with knowledge. But aren't each of them different? In English, do you spell knowledge, inquiry, education, learning, teaching, let's say informing, and all the words related to these, do you spell them the same way? They all have the same letters in them? No, they're completely unrelated. But what did Arabic do? Arabic did something incredible. Once you know the word knowledge, then all the words that have to do with knowledge will come under its they'll be the plants or the leaves that come out of that tree, because the root of all of them is knowledge. And so all the derivatives of knowledge in language are going to come from that one root. And that's what sarf allows you to do. Sarf allows you to learn all the vocabulary related to knowledge, because you know sarf and you know the words ain, lam, mim. And now you could build an entire library of words that have to do with anything. Any connection to knowledge will come from those words.
That just teaches us the value of, like, if you mistake one, like haraka.
Right, because look at what happens between ilm and alam.
Yeah, ilman.
Ilm is knowledge. Alam is a flag.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah.
What happens when you add a ta? Allama means he taught.
Yeah.
Allama, you memorize that family. Allama.
Allama.
And ta'allama is a different family, means he learned. It's the opposite. And so the changes in the shapes and the families that we're learning, each family does something. Each family does something to the root, right? And when you take that same root and you put it in a different family, it does something else to it. Then you take that same root and you put it in a different family, it does something even other than that to it. So each family does something new to the same word. So in the Quran, you'll find this is what's the fa letter, what's the ain letter, what's the lam letter?
The fa is the noon, the ain is the zal, and the lam is
a lam.
Yeah.
Allah says anzala. He says nazzala. He says tanazzala. And he says nazala. He says all of these.
Yeah.
They all have the same root, but this one is af'ala. This one is af'ala. This one is fa'ala. This one is tafa'ala. And this one is just fa'ala.
Yeah.
So the root is the same, but the shapes are all different, right? Now think of it this way. When you have different drinks, right? And you put the same mix in all of them.
Yeah.
Like let's just say it's sugar. Or let's just say, yeah, let's just say it's some lemon flavor,
Oh yeah.
right? And you've got orange juice, you've got apple juice, you've got different kinds of juices,
Mhm.
right? But you're putting the same lemon flavor in all of them.
Yeah.
Are they going to come out different, all of them? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the same root letter, but you're pouring it into different shapes, and every time the meaning is affected.
Yeah.
Every time. So each family has its own set of meanings,
Mm.
right? Once you get good at families, then we learn, okay, you know what? In the Aslama, I called it the Aslama
Same
family.
right?
Actually, officially, it's called the Af'ala family.
Oh, af'ala.
Because they don't say Aslama, they say Af'ala.
Af'ala.
And then they call it the Allama family, they call it the Fa'ala family.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next family will be the Fa'ala family. And then the Tafa'ala family. And then the Tafa'ala family. And then the Infa'ala family. Then the Ifta'ala family. And then the Istaf'ala family. And Istaf'ala family. Now, when I do that, though, there's a lot of fa'ala, because it's af'ala, fa'ala, tafa'ala, tafa'ala, infa'ala, ifta'ala, istaf'ala. There's a lot of fa'in lam,
Yeah.
and students get really overwhelmed with that. So what I decided to do many years ago is we'll do that later. Right now, just call it aslama
Mhm.
and call it allama,
Allama. That's pretty smart.
okay? As opposed to saying af'ala, fa'ala, fa'ala, it's already overwhelming, and then like they all sound the same because I hear fa'in lam all the time.
Yeah.
I'm failing at this.
Yeah.
Right? So
Mhm.
that's why I give you different letters, but actually you should know that the sin here represents the fa letter,
Mhm.
the lam here represents the ain letter, and the meme here represents the lam
Lam
letter. The
letter,
same
yeah.
way here, this is the fa letter, this is the ain letter, and this is the lam letter. So what happens in the aslama family? You get af'ala. And in the allama family, you get fa'ala.
Mhm.
And whatever letters I give you,
Mhm.
if I give you 3 letters, like if I give you this, right?
Araba.
So you're gonna put it, the fa letter will be qaf, the ain letter will
Qarraba.
be ra, right, and the lam letter will be ba,
Ba.
qarraba.
Yeah.
And if I put it in this family, the I is untouched because that's
Aqraba.
not my first letter. My first letter is the fa letter,
Yeah.
so it'll be aqraba.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
so that'll help you make the right sound. So when you say yuslimu,
Mhm.
how are you going to put it in there? Yuqribu,
Yuqribu. Yeah.
because the ya is not part of my fa'in lam.
Yeah.
Sin is my first letter,
Mhm.
lam is my second letter, mim is my last
Yeah.
letter. Now here's a really cool thing that's coming later on, you guys. You're going to learn how to use the dictionary. Now in English, if I told you to look up the word, if I told you to look up the word election, how would you open a dictionary and look it up?
I don't use. I've never
You've never used the dictionary?
I mean, I've used it.
Just
a
ask
little.
Siri.
I mean, that's why you have serious.
Hold on, let me just shed a tear for the loss of human civilization.
like
Our
I mean, I've used,
inability over one generation, one decade to use the dictionary.
no, I've
Because we
used
can
it.
just
Like,
Google it now. Hold on.
I've used it before. It's just like
School
it's,
they make us use the dictionary.
but it's too much.
And,
It's
like,
like
reading
it's
class.
like 500 pages.
I
Like,
know it's a book. You have to open it. It's so crazy. It's so ridiculous. Why would you open a book for knowledge? You could just tap and get the information. You're right. Okay. So this is hard to explain now.
I
but
mean, me and my friends, we just like
You
do,
can
like, a million
search.
of it.
you can search the spelling of a word,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way the Arabic dictionaries are organized, the
Mhm.
ancient Arabic dictionaries,
Yeah.
you saw the word, alima,
Halima.
ilmun,
Halima.
ta'limun, ta'limun, and isti'lamun, right? So the way they organize them usually is alphabetical, right? So you go to the ain section and you'll find these 2 words. And you go to the ta section, you might find ta'limun.
Mhm.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You got to find the root letters,
Mhm.
ain, lam, mim.
Yeah.
And then you got to open up a Lisan al-Arab, which I'll teach you how to do.
Yes.
And you'll go to the ain chapter,
Yeah.
then find ain, lam, mim.
Uh-huh.
And all the words that came from ain, lam, mim
Yeah.
will be under that word.
Yeah.
So those 50 words we made are not going to be in 50 different searches in the dictionary. They're all going to be in the same place under the same root. So when you study the Arabic dictionary, you just study the root,
Yeah.
and then all the words related to it come under there. It's not alphabetically organized, it's root alphabetically organized.
Yeah.
So if you don't know sarf, you can't use the dictionary. If you can't effectively use the dictionary, you can't look up the deeper meanings of Arabic words, because the lame dictionaries, like there are dictionaries online, you can put in an Arabic word and it can tell you the meaning. But that's not how I want you to study Quran. Those are modern Arabic meanings. I want you to study the people that spent their lifetime traveling the desert to find out what a root letter means. This happened in early Islam. People traveled across the desert to see how the ancient Arabs would use a certain root letter, and they documented it. They made journals out of it. And then eventually that was documented into the study of judur, the root letters. And now we get to go back into their ancient journals and see, oh, in this root letter, this shape and this shape and this shape, and this is how the Arabs use this one, and this is how they use this one, and this is how they use this one, and this is how they use this one. And we're like, oh, now I see how Allah used it here. So it's going to be so epic for you to know that, but you can't if you don't understand the relationship between root letters and sarf, right? Because you can't just look up the root letter. You got to know what root letter and then what family was it in. Because meanings, now here's the bottom line, meanings in Arabic, meanings of words, not of sentence, meanings of words. They come from roots,
Yes.
plus or multiplied by, actually, the shape multiplied by the usage of barbecue Arabs.
Barbecue Arabs.
Okay? You got to know all three.
Yeah.
You got to know root, which is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Then we're learning the shape.
Yeah.
Right? Then we got to take that root and that shape and then go to the ancient Arabs and say, hey, how did you use this root and shape? Some people say, I know the root, so I know all the times the word is used. No, because that same root in different shapes can mean totally different things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the same thing. And some people are so bad at sarf, they see the root and they say, well, I have vocabulary, so this word, I already looked it up in the dictionary. I know what it means. Here's what it means in this. No, I don't want to say a bad word, so no, not genius. That's not the right shape for that meaning. You're translating it as if it's a different shape. You can't just look at the root. You also have to look at the shape. And then some people say, I'm just going to look at the usage of the barbecue Arabs. Yeah, but you didn't understand which shape they were using.
Yeah.
You gotta look at all three. So I'm going to train you to look at all three when you look at meanings of words. Right now, nowadays, or the lazy meanings of words is Google it.
Yeah.
Right? And you will get a meaning, but it won't give you the depth you need to study Quran. It'll mess you up, actually. They don't have those apps that are translating Arabic words, or if you're using Duolingo or something like that. Those are great apps for learning Arabic, how it's spoken today, and meanings of words today. But Quran is a different world. Ancient Arabic is a different world, and I'm training you for that world. Okay? So with that, inshallah, I'll give you guys your first break.
Okay.
There's quite a bit of concepts to think about. Roots and shapes and fa, ayn, and lam. Go, enjoy.
I'm sorry, I've never used a dictionary for that.
That's okay. It's not your fault.
No.
It's a generational problem.
It took so long.
No, it's not like I've used it before, right? But it took me like a whole class period to find like 3 words.
I know.
It's so hard.
I'm gonna make sure you use a dictionary.
Like in
So,
every
okay,
dictionary,
Jawad,
it
I'll
just
take
seems
questions
10
if you
times
can read them off to me.
All right.
Like a random day of the week.
Let's see.
And he would give us 10 words we had to find in a dictionary. And we would have 15 minutes to do all
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
That's a Google.
That's my answer.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me for a second.
No, not you. You didn't ask me how old I am.
If I said remember.
No, I thought you were asking me.
No,
That was in a different tab.
Oh, really?
In a website tab.
no. How long is the break? 2 months. What is
Sada,
meant by shape?
How many
Triangle?
families?
Huh? How many families are there? There's so many. No, there's going to be for these 2 units, meaning this intensive and the next intensive. There's going to be 14 families, 8 big families and 6 small families. But it sounds intimidating, but it's not. It's actually pretty easy. They're in groups, so you're almost done with group 1, and then we're going to learn 2 families at a time, 3 families at a time, because they go together and they're almost identical. So their memorizing patterns are pretty easy. So 14 families altogether for our study, maybe 15. In actual self-studies, 37. In advanced self-studies, 37 patterns. But most of that's never used, because then they start getting into 4-letter roots and 5-letter roots and all that stuff. But we don't really care.
What's a good dictionary they can use?
You can't use a dictionary yet. Bye. When you're ready for it, you will use Lane's lexicon to start with. You will use Edward. That's going to be difficult, but you're going to use Edward Lane. And you're going to use the Nazi guy's dictionary. What was his name?
Hans
Ware. Hans Ware. Yeah, he was Nazi. The Nazis commissioned a lot of Arabic studies, unfortunately. But some of the best Arabic studies is what they did. So the Hans Ware. Eventually, you'll also get into a Quranic dictionary. Abdul Halim has a very good one. It's expensive, but it's a very good one. We'll get into the dictionary work later on. But my training you will not be to go to an English dictionary. I will train you to go to Arabic dictionaries. My job will be to get you the same dictionaries I study when I'm preparing for tafsir. That's my goal with you. How many groups of families? You can think of 2 big groups. They're called Mazid Fi and Mujarrad. We'll learn that soon. But you can say the 8 big families are one group, and then the 6 small families are another group. And in fact, the smaller families are harder. Is it too early to know the subtle differences between the families? Is that what the question was?
Let me see if I can find it.
How long is this course? There's no end.
Here you
go. So the difference between the Aslama and the Allama family, the differences between the families, when I'm done with teaching you all 8, then I'll have sessions on that. Because it's not a simple answer. Some people try to give a simple answer to that question. The truth of it is, when you give simple answers to Quranic Arabic, then people oversimplify and then they come to the wrong conclusions about ayat. So I avoid doing that. So I will tell you about the families and how they give you different meanings. But when we're done, at least learning 8 families. Now we're 2 in, hopefully 3 in today. We'll get to the 3rd family today. And that'll be our first big group. And inshallah, maybe when we're done with all 3, then I'll compare them. And maybe not wait until all 8. But one group at a time is better to show you the meanings. What's a root letter? Is it fa, ain, lam? No, a root letter is 3 letters that have a certain meaning. And then from those 3 letters, you can make a bunch of words. So ain, lam, and mim are root letters in Arabic in that sequence. And then from that, you can create a bunch of words. So all of Arabic vocabulary, most of Arabic vocabulary comes down to root words. And those root words are 3 letters at a time, most of them. Like, think of any word in Arabic. Kitab, right? Kitab. The name of the Prophet, Muhammad. Muhammad is an ism maf'ul from Hammada yuhammidu tahmidan. Allama yu'allimu ta'liman, right? So it's Hammada yuhammidu tahmidan fahuwa Muhammadun. Hummida yuhammadu tahmidan fahuwa Muhammadun. Al-amru minhu hammid. وَنَهْيُ عَنْهُ لَا تُحَمِّدْ وَالظَّرْفُ مِنْهُ مُحَمَّدٌ. So the root letters of Muhammad are Ha, Mim, and Dal. The same word from which we get Allah's name Al-Hamid, or we get Ahmad's name Ahmad, which is also one of the names of Rasul, or we get the word Hamd, Alhamdulillah, right? Or Hamad, or Mahmud, right? So that root is Ha, Mim, and Dal, and then from it we get a bunch of words depending on the family. Okay. Wow, Wajid Khan, you're really hurting. Okay. Fa'in lam. Why fa'in lam is put on an ism? You can put any letters on anything. I didn't say it's a fi'l. I said it's fa'in lam. Yuqbilu, yunzilu. What about it, Nazia? What homework is this? Oh, the recognition one? Can you pull that up, Jawad? Can you pull up the homework?
Sure.
I'm looking at it here.
You want me to share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead. No, I wouldn't separate the letters of the word Allah. I'll share my Bismillah paper with you guys. You can read about that. I wrote it 20 years ago.
All right, which one are we looking at?
I think it was 4 and 11. She said.
All right, here's 4.
Oh no, it was 3 and 11. Sorry, 3 and 11. So yuqbilu is like aqbala yuqbilu iqbalan. So it's the aslama family, right? And fahuwa muqbilun. And then which one? Number 11. Yunazzilu is because you can tell that there's a u followed by a fatha. So it can't be the yuslimu family because yus is immediately followed by sukun. So yu'allimu makes more sense. Yunazzilu yu'allimu. So this would be nazzala yunazzilu tanzilan fahuwa munazzilun. So it'd be the allama family. Is Asiya an appropriate Arabic name? Well, Asiya with a ain would not be a good name, but Asiya is fine. It's not an Arabic name anyway. It's an ancient Egyptian name. Udfiru. Which word? I don't understand the question, Labiba. Homework number 3. It's the same one.
There's a question about 18 as well.
Okay, let's pop up 18. Okay, yu'minu, because it starts with Hamza, it's a little bit challenging. So it is the Aslama family. I'm thinking you probably guessed that. So like Aslama yuslimu islaman, if I did it literally, it would be a'mana yu'minu i'manan. You notice the hiccups? So the Arabs made it smoother. So instead of saying a'mana, they said amana yu'minu imanan fahuwa mu'minun. Umina yu'manu imanan fahuwa mu'manun. Al-amru minhu amin wa nahyu anhu la tu'min. But those are irregularities. We'll study those later on. And there are qira'at of the Quran where the Hamza has gone altogether. So they said it's too much of a hiccup. So some qira'at you'll hear, وَالَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. They don't even say the Hamza, right? Because it's smoother. So they'll say, آمَنَ يُؤْمِنُ إِيمَانًا فَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ. So they'll read it like that. Yes, يُكَذِّبُ is allama family. Very good.
Ustad, can you explain the meaning of the Allama family?
Not yet. When I finish the Jahada, the next family, then I'll explain all 3 families together. Okay, take 5 minutes. Jawad, if you'd like to answer questions, go ahead. Mute me, actually, while you're at it.
Okay. How do we know which word is which family? Well, we're learning the families, right? We're learning the families and all of the patterns that go into each family. So if you see a word that rhymes with any of the words in the Aslama family, Aslama, Yuslimu, Islam, Muslim, Muslim, Muslima, Yuslamu, Aslim, La Tuslim, and Muslim, then you know that that's going to be from the Aslama family. Some of them, they might overlap with other families, but most of them will be unique. Same thing for allama. If you see a word that rhymes with allama or yu'allimu ta'aliman, mu'allimun, ullima, yu'allamu ta'aliman, mu'allamun, allim, la tu'allim, and mu'allam, then you know that's from the allama family. Can I do number 114? I'm not sure what you mean by number 114. Explain number 9. I'm assuming you mean on the homework. يتعرض. So all you have to do is go through the past tense and the present tense for aslama and allama, and if it matches, then tell which one it matches. If it doesn't match, then it's not going to be from one of those 2 families. Aslama, it obviously doesn't match. It doesn't have the hamza. We said the hamza will always be there for aslama. Yuslimu. The ya doesn't even start with u. It starts with a, so it doesn't match. Allama, obviously this is way too many letters for allama, no match. Yu'allimu, again, the ya doesn't start with u, it starts with a. So it's neither aslama nor allama. So you would just put an X here. This is something we haven't learned yet. Root letters, as far as you are concerned, will always be 3 letters right now. Yes. Let's do number 14. Yuflihu. Yuflihu. So let's go through aslama first. It can't be aslama because there's no hamza. Let's try the present tense. Yuslimu. So the ya starts with dhamma. Good start. Yus. Second letter has sukoon. Good. Li. Third letter has kasra. Mu. Fourth letter has dhamma. Yuflihu rhymes with yuslimu. So this is the present tense aslama family. So we could take this throughout the whole family. أفلح يفلح إفلاحا فهو مفلح أفلح يفلح إفلاحا فهو مفلح الأمر منه أفلح والنهي عنه لا تفلح والظرف منه مفلح. Mahnur, if you're having a hard time recognizing words, then spend some more time with the Aslam and Allama families. Make sure you're able to make sure you understand those two families, the concept of them first, and then go through this worksheet, the workbook. There's a lot of exercises. This workbook, most of the exercises are focused on the Aslama family, not the Allama family. But if you go through this one, it should give you a pretty good understanding of recognizing the Aslama and navigating through the Aslama family. Rusa, that's not my decision to make. What page is this? This is the first page. It's the first page, the second exercise. Manha? No, you didn't. You're good. Where should you find this workbook? If you go to the dream.bayinatv.com website, go to study materials. Under intensive 3 day 1, you'll find this worksheet. Oh, Manha, I won't answer on there because I don't really use it. Email instead, inshallah. Should you take notes? That a good answer to that question is always yes. Can I explain number 17? يختص. Okay. We know for aslama we would need a hamza that's missing. It can't be past tense. For allama, the second letter would need shadda. Also, this is too many letters, so it's not going to be aslama past tense. It's not going to be allama past tense. For both families, aslama and allama, the present tense starts with you. This starts with ya, so this is not a match for either of them. Okay, I will go to it one more time, inshallah. Oops. Okay. So this is the home screen. This is where you log in, right? At the top, let's see if I can zoom in. Right here, study materials. This is what you want to click. Then everything is split up by day. So this is intensive 1. This is intensive 2 stuff. And then intensive 3 is all the way at the bottom. Under intensive 3, day 1, you'll find the first workbook, days 1 through 5, and the key for it. You'll also find the audios, and each one is assigned to the day where it came from. Yesterday's quiz, day 5 quiz, is under day 5. The day 4 quiz is under day 4. This is the audio from yesterday going through the Aslama and Allama families. So everything is there.
I'm gonna get started now, Jawad.
Okay.
Yeah. Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Try to do this with me. I won't spend time reviewing because I expect you now to carry the review yourselves, but we will do at least some review in class. Aslama yuslimu islaman fahuwa muslimun. Uslima yuslamu islaman fahuwa muslimun. Al-amru minhu aslim والنهي عنه لا تسلم والظرف منه مسلم.
I can't say the
So the والظرف منه will always be a mu.
Yeah, والظرف
Mu
منه
and a,
مسلم.
always.
Yeah.
Always. Same as the maf'ul, always. مسلم. Okay. علم يعلم.
Oh, علم يعلم.
Listen carefully now. Listen to what I'm saying. For most families, the present tense has an E before the end, the word ends, most of them.
Okay.
So we're still in those families where that happens. Allama yu'allimu. You heard that E?
Yeah.
Aslama yuslimu. Did you hear the E? Yeah. So the third family we're going to do is also going to have that E. So it's just something you have to get used to. In the second line, it's u'a. But in the first line for these 3 families, it's going to be u'i. Okay? So let's do that again. Allama yu'allimu ta'liman fahuwa mu'allimun. علم يعلم تعليما فهو معلم الأمر منه علم والنهي عنه لا تعلم والظرف منه معلم. Excellent. Okay. Now, third family. Say this for me.
جاهد.
This family has an alif, but not in the beginning. As the second letter. So whatever first letter, what's the fa'ain lam of this? What's the shape of this? Say the word with its shape.
فعل.
Not fa'ala, no.
فعل.
No, look, fa should be long.
فعل.
That's right. Fa'ala is the shape, yeah?
Yes.
Jahada yujahidu.
جاهد.
Now this time, remember the ketchup mustard? The idea, mustard? Yeah. This guy is weird. He gets 2 mustards. Okay. So we say jihadan wa mujahadatan. So it gets 2. Okay.
Yes.
Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan. Try to say that with me. Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan. Notice, just like the first 2 families you learned, aslama, the present tense was yuslimu. It had an u and an e. Yu'allimu had an u and an e. And this is the third family that has the same thing, an u and an e. Yujahidu. Yeah? And the second family had a shadda problem, right? They like shadda.
Yeah.
And instead of a shadda in this family, they like an alif instead. Right? So like that was allama. This is jahada.
Yeah.
If this was the ain lam mim, it would have been alama yu'alimu ilaman wa mu'alamatan.
Yeah.
Okay? So jahada, with me?
Oh,
Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan. Okay, try that without looking.
Jahada yujahidu. Yujahidu.
Okay, well, first I'll have Ahmed try it, then I'll have you try it. Go ahead.
Jahada yujahidu.
Good.
Uh,
Now do it without the start over.
okay. Jahada yujahidu ijhadan.
Jihadan.
Oh, jihad.
If you said ijhadan, you took it back to the Islaman, but
Yeah.
it's the af'ala family.
Mhm.
We're not in the af'ala
Yeah.
family. We're in the jahada family.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jihadan.
so wa.
Okay. Jihadan fahuwa.
There's no fahwa yet. Jihadan wa, because there's two mustars.
Oh, yeah.
So wa means and, right?
Oh yeah.
So jahada yujahidu
Yujah-
jihadan wa
Mujahadatan.
mujahadatan
Yeah.
mujahadatan.
Yeah.
5 times, both of you. Mujahadatan 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 mujahadatan. Now jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan. Jahada. Now look at it and say it 5 times. Jahada yujahidu jihadan jihadan.
Jihadan
No, there's no fa yet. Wa
wa
mujahadatan.
mujahadatan.
Okay. Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan. Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan. Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan. Now, same thing as before. Fahuwa. We're getting used to that now. Fahuwa. And then the present tense tells you what it's going to be. Yujahidu will become mujahidun.
Okay, mujahidun.
We did that a couple of times already, right? Yuslimu gave me muslimun.
Oh, yeah.
Muslimun. And then yu'allimu gave me mu'allimun, right? So that fahuwa word comes from here,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Now, the second line is going to be ui, always uslima, ullima, juhida.
Juhida.
You guys get used to that for every family. It's the same things that are happening.
Okay.
So the first word is always uia. So uslima, ullima, juhida. And the second words are always you and a. So it was yuslamu, yu'allamu. And this one's going to be, this one's going to be
Yujahidu.
yuslamu,
Oh,
yu'allamu, yujahadu.
Hadu. Jihadan.
And I know what you're going to do. When I ask you to say this from memory, you're going to say juhidu. You're going to say juhidu. Then you're going to say yujahidu. And I'm telling you now, don't listen to the devil. Fight him. The first word always ends with a, juhida.
Juhida.
And the second is yujahadu. The last letter is always off limits.
Yeah.
That's not part of sarf. That's part of what you do with it later on. Huwa, huma, hum, etc. So juhida, yujahadu. The same 2 words again. What 2 words again?
Jihadan.
Jihadan wa.
Mujahadatan.
Right. Mujahadatan.
Fahuwa.
Fahuwa.
Mujahadan.
Yes.
Mujahadun.
Mujahadun. You're getting the idea, right?
Yeah.
Al-amru minhu. What was the no close? When this was aslama, then the amr was aslim. Shortcut. That's a shortcut answer.
Yeah.
When this was allama, the amr was allim. When this is jahada,
Jahid.
right. فالامر منه جاهد والنهي عنه لا تجاهد والظرف منه, it's already on the screen.
Mujahadun.
That's right.
I did it by memory.
Yep. Once you understand how this works, it's not like, oh my god, a whole new family, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
No, it's actually pretty straightforward because you know allama yu'allimu. The only new thing really is jihadan wa mujahadatan. Everything else pretty much works the same way.
Yeah.
It's really the mastar that really significantly changed. Okay, so jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan fahuwa mujahidun. Juhida yujahadu jihadan wa mujahadatan fahuwa mujahadun. Al-amru minhu jahid والنهي عنه لا تجاهد والظرف منه مجاهد. Mujahadun. Right? So This is going to be a pretty common family in the Quran. So you're going to find words like قاتل يقاتل قتالا ومقاتلة فهو مقاتل قوتل يقاتل قتالا ومقاتلة فهو مقاتل الأمر منه قاتل والنهي عنه لا تقاتل والظرف منه مقاتل. You're going to find جادل يجادل جدالا ومجادلة فهو مجادل جودل يجادل جدالا ومجادلة فهو مجادل الأمر منه جادل والنهي عنه لا تجادل والظرف منه مجادل. You're going to memorize it until your 3 families are solid. Aslama, allama, jahada. 3 families got to be rock solid by tomorrow, okay? So aslama, allama, and jahada. Now, you guys have been itching to know, some of you, what's this all means. Why are the different families we have that? So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about why the Arabs have different families, okay? Think of it this way. Every family has multiple roles. They do multiple things, okay? But there's some patterns. So when things come from the Aslama family, then not always, but many times, when you put words in the Aslama family, things happen to someone else, which means it's someone else. It's transitive. Remember, intransitive, it happens to you. I stood, I sat. So many times when you put something in aslama, then it's happening to someone else.
But not all the time.
Not all the time. And it happens immediately or altogether.
Aslama.
Okay. Aslama, for example, he surrendered. But it can also mean he surrendered completely, altogether. Okay. Similarly, I'll give you some examples so you can compare the two. The Allama family, many times things happen to someone else, or someone or something else, actually. Someone else. Again, transitive, right? But it can be that it happens over time. Not immediately, but over time. It could be spread out. Now, let's take the word knowledge. Ain, lam, and mim. That is knowledge, right? Okay, now watch this. A'lama and allama. I put the ain, lam, mim in the aslama family, and what did I get? I got a'lama. And I put it in the allama family, and I got allama. Now, check it out. It's really cool. So, a'lama means he informed. And allama means he taught. Okay? Same meaning or different meaning?
Different.
But they both have to do with knowledge, don't they? Because when somebody informs you, they're giving you knowledge. And when somebody teaches you, they're giving you knowledge. But if somebody informed you, the weather is this much degrees. Are they done? Was it immediate and it's done with? Yeah. But when someone's teaching you, does it happen? They say one time and you're done, you're taught?
No, it happened.
Over time? What did I say? The Aslama family, things happen immediately. And they're done with. But Allama is over time, like a process. Right? So what happens here? A'lama, he informed. The information was done immediately. I informed you, I'm goodbye. And then allama, I teach you. Then you say, I don't remember. Then I teach you again. I'm confused. Then I teach you again. I don't want to do this. Then I slap you and teach you again. And then, so allama is a process, right? So allama is something that takes time. Now, this doesn't always happen. But it does happen sometimes. It does happen sometimes, right? So depending on the family, sometimes there are words in the Quran that are sometimes in the Aslama family, sometimes in the Allama family. And when they translate it into English translations of the Quran, they translate them the same way. So what they miss is, well, no, Allah said the same thing, but one of them he used the word that is more immediate, and one of them he used the word that is drawn out. So, for example, this doesn't happen all the time with Nazala and Anzala. So Nazala means he came down. Nazala means he came down. If I came down the stairs, who does it affect?
You.
Yeah, so Nazala actually is intransitive. Remember, intransitive means you cannot add someone or something? So I cannot say he came down something. Okay? Or he came down someone. No, he came down means he himself. Now, if I put it in the Aslama family, Anzala, it means he brought down.
He brought down someone.
He brought down someone, or he brought down.
Something.
So now remember what I said about the Anzala family? It affects somebody else.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
So now isn't bringing down affecting whoever you're bringing down or
Yeah.
whatever you're bringing down? It's not affecting you.
Yeah.
It's affecting the thing,
Mhm.
right? And then Anzala, you can, not always, but you can think sometimes that Anzala could mean brought down altogether,
That's a good word. Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Altogether, like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Brought down the house.
Yeah. And then when you say Nazzala, because this is also used in the Quran, Nazzala
Mhm.
also means he brought down,
Yeah.
but it could mean over time. But not always, but it can mean over time. So now in the beginning of Surah Al Imran,
Mhm.
Allah says, Alif Lam Mim, Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum, nazzala alayka al-kitaba bil-haqqi,
Mhm.
and then he says, wa anzala al-furqan
وأنزل الفرقان. Mhm. Yeah.
min qablu hudan lin-nasi wa anzala al-furqan.
Furqan.
So he said nazzala,
Mhm.
and then he also said anzala at-taurata wal-injil. Let me open it up. نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل. It's really interesting.
How are we supposed to like remember like all the meanings?
Surah at a time.
Surah at a time.
That's why. Which surah are we going to do?
Surah.
Al-Munafiqun.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to worry about all the surahs and all the meanings of all the words. Not going to worry about that. We're just going to worry about
No,
one.
like how are we gonna memorize like one word? Like how is that gonna just like stick in our brain? Right?
When you study a surah and you memorize a surah and you're
Mhm.
praying with that surah and you're thinking about it all the time,
Mhm.
guess what?
Oh, just stick in our brain.
Allah sticks it.
Okay.
Okay? Notice he said the word in the same ayah. He said the word nazzala, which is the allama family,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Then he said the word anzala,
Yeah.
right?
إنزل ينزل إنزالا فهو منزل.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, one way that some scholars look at it, this is not the only way, but one way scholars look at this ayah is nazzala was used when he said he sent down or he brought down on you. Alayka is a jar majroor.
Mhm.
What did he bring down on you? The book, which is a detail. That's why it's
Yeah.
nasib. He brought down the book on you.
Yeah.
Meaning which book? The Quran.
Quran. Yeah.
He's talking to the Prophet,
Mhm.
telling you he brought the book down onto you, right?
Mhm.
But did the Quran come down immediately or
No.
over time?
Over time.
So because Nazzala, the family kind of says over time, Nazzala is here.
Yeah.
So he brought the Quran down over time.
Mhm.
But then he says, and he has already brought down Taurat and
Injil.
Injil.
Mhm.
What that means is it's already done. Because remember we said, when we talked about Anzala, the
Mhm.
family, I wrote
Yeah.
down that it's something that's done all together.
Mhm.
So he's already done revealing Taurat and
Injil.
Injil.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a comparison being made by Allah between Nazzala and Anzala. And there's lots of lessons there. So if you listen to my lecture on this ayah, for example, I'll say, I know I'm going to geek out for you guys who don't study Arabic, but I need to talk about this. There's a difference between Nazzala and Anzala, and this is Taf'il, and this is If'al, and this is the Nazzala yunazzilu tanzilan, and this is Anzala yunzilu inzalan. A couple of years ago, when you used to listen to my lectures, when I was helping you sleep, I used to say things like that. Nazzala yunazzilu tanzila. He's like, oh, he's doing the Arabic thing right now. When's he going to tell a joke? That's what you know. But now you're like, oh, wait, that's like, hey, that's allama yu'allimu ta'lima. Hey,
Yeah.
I get what he's saying. What? The part I used to sleep in is the part that became the most interesting? What is happening? Right? So that's what's going to happen now. You're going to go back to some of my lectures, and when I geek out in Arabic is going to be the juiciest part for you.
Yeah.
The part that you used to tune out in.
Mhm.
That's your answer key. And then you're going to start seeing why what I'm trying to give you is not just Arabic studies, Arabic studies with Quran studies, Arabic studies with Quran studies. Because the questions you have, what's the difference between Nazzala and Anzala? I don't know. I had the same question. And I had to go bother a bunch of people
Yeah.
and say, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this?
Yeah.
I remember this one time I was really curious about harf, the harf of jar, because that's a big study in Quran, harf of jar. You're like, what's the big deal? We're done. You're not done. Harf of jar is just getting started.
Okay.
Harf of jar is a universe,
It's a
right?
universe.
Oh my God.
It's like
Which
the
harf do you
multiverse.
use with which fi'il and how does it change the meaning and this and that? Oh my God. So I was at a conference in 2003. Okay.
Whoa, that was before I was born.
That's
Oh my
correct. Yes.
God.
And I was actually young. So so I was at this conference. It was a Quran conference in Las Vegas. I swear to God, that's what it was. Okay, so so it's a Quran conference in Las Vegas, and that's why I was there. So it says, "You've been to Las Vegas?" Yeah, Quran conference. It was true though. So
Yeah.
it was at the Jamia Masjid. It was a Quran conference, and these scholars were invited from all over the community to come and all over the country. And one of the people that came there was Professor Mustansir Mir, who's an amazing author of Quranic studies. I'll introduce you to these people over time, inshallah. Maybe we'll even get a video call with them or something. Just, you know, chime in with them. So anyway, he gave a lecture, and I was what, 23 at that time, 24 at the time, and he gave a lecture about 12 translations of one ayah. Pickthall, Yusuf Ali, Muhammad, Muhammad Asad, so on and so forth. 12 English translations of one ayah and how they got it wrong. That's all he did, this professor.
He just proved them wrong.
He just kind of just said, grammatically, this is here, this is mubtada, this is khabar, this is muqaddam, this is this. Therefore, this shouldn't have been translated this. And I've been studying Arabic for a little bit more than a year now. And I know a little bit of harf jar, harf nasab, and I know my families and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just geeking out. Everybody else is zoned out of his lecture because they're not getting what he's saying. But I'm into Arabic studies, right? And he's just wrecking it. And I'm like, well, he's such a boss. He's so amazing. And so I had my copy of Quran with all these highlights of things I couldn't figure out. Like, why is this here? I don't understand the grammar here. I don't get this. I don't get this. So, the speakers, when they're done talking, I wasn't a speaker, by the way. I was an attendee. So when they're done talking, they're having lunch at these tables, right? And the audience can come and kind of hang out with them and stuff. And nobody's hanging out with Professor Mir. Right? He's just having his biryani. And I go over to him and I say, Professor Mir, is it okay if I sit here? And he's like, yeah. And he keeps eating. And I was like, so, this wa'tul buyuta min abwabi. How do you understand? How come this is nasab like that? And how come this is rafa like that? How come this is this? And I had 10 different questions, right? And he's eating it and he goes, yeah, that's a mudaf ilayh mahthuf. Yeah, no, that's a khabar muqaddam. Yeah, and he's not even looking. He's just kham, yes, yeah, kham, and he's just answering my questions. And I'm like, oh, yes, it is. Oh my God, how come I was so stupid? I didn't see it before. Oh my God, this is so awesome. And I keep flipping pages and finding other questions. And after 10 questions, he got a little annoyed, right? So because I'm the guy eat. So he said, why don't you read my book? And I said, you have a book? So he had actually done his PhD on verbal idioms in the Quran in 1980 something at the University of Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, and he did expressions in the Quran and how they're related to poetry, and basically one of the most amazing works on Quran translation that help in Quran translation ever done. It's such an amazing contribution that was done as a PhD thesis at the University of Michigan by a Muslim professor that nobody knows about, right? So now it's pretty well known actually, and people refer to it and stuff. So I said, where can I get it? Where can I buy it? Not available in bookstores, not available anywhere. I actually literally called after the conference was on. I called the University of Michigan and said, do you have this copy? They said, we might have some in storage because it was published in 1983. And I actually finally got a copy, transcribed it into Arabic because it was written in transliterated English, and studied it. And then years later, I was teaching, 4 years later, I was telling this crazy story in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
I was teaching Arabic class, and one of the people that was there in the class said, actually, Professor Mir is a friend of mine. I know where he lives. Want to go meet him? I was like, yes. So he drove me to Youngstown, Ohio, and I got to meet Professor Mir, and he gave me some of his papers. He's like, you read my book? I was like, yeah, you told me to. He's like, I did? I don't remember. I was like, I know. It was insignificant, but it was a pivotal moment in my life. So he went up to his attic and he pulled out a stack of papers that he had written on the Quran. I said, I don't think anybody would be interested, but maybe you are. I was like, yes. So I have that treasure with me of going through his papers and stuff. Many of them are available online now. But as you guys advance, I'm going to introduce you to these resources, inshallah. But, here what I just wanted to show you is, at least for starters, the difference for starters, between the Aslama family and the Allama family. Aslama, you can consider it many times. You can consider it immediate, and Allama over time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one difference between them. Then we just did the Jahada family, right? Jahada family. And in the Jahada family, what you can think about is many times, not all the time, many times it suggests that one group, one party, or one side is struggling against another side.
Yeah.
One versus another. So it's one v1 kind of thing. Okay? So it's like this. So jahada or qatala, for example, means he fought, which means there's somebody on the other side.
Yeah.
Right? So, or jadala means in this family, he argued, which means somebody's on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay? So, khasama, another word, khasama, he debated. Somebody's going to be on the other side.
Yeah.
Sha'ara, he competed in poetry. Hawara, he engaged in conversation, aggressive conversation with somebody on the other side. Right? So, when you have this word, or even shawara, and it doesn't have to be antagonistic, but shawara, he consulted, and someone's on the other side who's consulting back, right? So there's kind of a little bit of a conflict is inside this family. There's some kind of conflict going on when you put words in this family most of the time, okay? And so each one of them takes the same root, and then it does something to them. By the way, the shadda in allama, right?
Yeah.
The shadda can mean over time, but one of the other things sometimes it means is many or a lot. Okay, many or a lot, because the shadda is doubling the letter. So they say it suggests doubling the action or multiple action. So for example, aghlaqa or aghlaqat means she locked.
Yeah.
Right? And that's from the Aslama family, right? So that happened immediately. It's just like somebody just bolted the door.
Yeah.
Aghlaqat, right? But the Quran says about the minister's wife in the story, ghallaqat al-abwab, she locked. Right? Which is the Allama family. Now normally in Arabic when you lock a door, you say aghlaqa. From the Aslama family, because a lock is not a process, it's not over time, it's not like allama teaching, which takes time. So the scholar said, why did she get described with ghallaqa? Maybe because there were lots of doors and she took her time before Yusuf even got there to lock all the possible exits, or that even a single door had multiple locks on it, and so locked, bolted, whatever. And so ghallaqa suggests that like many actions were taken, or over time actions were taken. So it's a premeditated kind of thing, a planned out kind of thing. And all of that came from the fact that ghallaqat was used in that story in Surah Yusuf, as opposed to aghlaqat was used, right? So the depending on the family, the meaning gets kind of enhanced. Really amazing stuff. Really, really amazing stuff. And you learn so much from that. Inshallah, we're going to study a book of just beautiful gems. They really, I don't know how else to describe them. Beautiful gems of why a certain family was used in one place, another family was used in a different place, and what amazing things you learn from that. That's going to be like Balaghatul Kalima, the book. We're going to go through it, inshallah, when you guys get to that stage, because it's a gift to me personally. I consider that one of the most amazing prizes, the work of Dr. Sami Al-Ra'i, and I want that for you, inshallah. So be patient, learn the families, learn them well, so you can get to the juicy stuff. I'll give you a taste of the juicy stuff here and there, but you can't get there until you put the work in. Right? So for now, your three families are Aslama, Allama, and Jahada. Okay? Aslama, Allama, and Jahada. And all of them work the same way. I'll say Jahada one more time, and of course, Jawad, you'll create an audio file for them, right? For Jahada. So Jahada yujahidu jihadan wa mujahadatan fahuwa mujahidun. Juhida yujahadu jihadan wa mujahadatan fahuwa mujahadun. Al-amru minhu jahid wa nahyu anhu la tujahid وَالظَّرْفُ مِنْهُ مُجَاهَدٌ. That's our third family, okay? And then inshallah, slowly we'll start building our ability to recognize these families and work with them in Quran. What surah did I say we're all memorizing?
Al-Munafiqun.
Al-Munafiqun. You have 4 to 6 weeks to memorize it. Take your time, don't stress. It's only 11 ayat. Also only 11 ayat. They're long, a little bit long ayat, but only 11 ayat. And the lecture is on under the deeper study section or the deeper look section of Surah or Surah Al-Munafiqun in Bayyinah TV. So you can start listening to a little bit of it at a time. It's a really interesting surah, guys. It's one of the most interesting surahs lectures that I got a chance to do of the Madani Quran. It's really, really cool. And the story behind its revelation, mind-blowing. It really is. So you'll have a lot of fun listening to it anyway, just grasping some of its lessons. My recommendation when you're listening to the lectures on the surah, don't take notes, just listen.
Yeah.
And if you want my formula for studying Quran, when you listen to somebody, if I'm the person you listen to for Quran studies, then listen to the same lecture 4 or 5 times. Like same surah 4 or 5 times. Don't move on to another surah. Just listen, and while you're listening to it, you're memorizing it at the same time.
Yeah.
That creates a deep bond between you and that surah.
Yeah.
That's what you really want. And then it's so much more meaningful when you're praying and you're reciting that surah, right? So we're doing all of this here, but our goal is that it's going to affect us here, right? So we have to do the right things to get to that point. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr hakim. Stay with me. Very proud of the work you guys are doing so far.
Just today?
No, I'll go easy on you. It's Friday. Jumaa Mubarak. Go, no quiz today. Kya yaad karoge? Chalo. How do you say I'm going easy on you in Farsi?
Asan sarat mera mak.
Watch your mouth. What?
Asan.
Asan.
Sarat Meram.
Asan sarat meram. Chutrasti. Okay. Okay.
Man said this with